Hello, everyone. This is Mark. And I just want to give you guys a heads up before the start of the episode that during the time of the recording of this episode, I kind of had a really bad cold. If I sound sick, it's because I kind of was. And on top of all that, I was also having some difficulties with my microphone. So my audio also tends to cut out and get a little choppy here and there. So there's a choppy me and sick me, and I'm so sorry. We didn't have time to re-record because I wanted to get the episode out as soon as possible. So sorry about that. Enjoy. Welcome back to the Hide for Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
and today we're reviewing Alien Romulus, released in 2024, written by Freddy Alvarez and Rodeo Siagas, and directed by Freddy Alvarez. Tuan, can you give the people the plot summary?
When a crew of scavengers break into a derelict space station and steal supplies in order to travel to a new peaceful planet, they discover that the corporation that owned the station was experimenting with monstrous creatures, and it isn't long before they're fleeing for their lives.
Now, Alien Romulus, like this is the movie that we've been building up to with our Alien franchise review, and I don't know about you, but I kind of avoided like all the trailers, all like the spoilers. I didn't know anything about this movie besides like a photo or two, so I went in completely blind. Like I didn't know what I was walking into, and I realized I have never seen any of Freddy Alvarez's like movies. So I went in with like no expectations, especially after Alien Covenant. So I don't know about you. Like, what were you thinking going into this?
Well, we already knew going into this. I already said I was gonna like the movie just because I haven't been disappointed from Fede Alvarez yet. I really love the 2013 Evil Dead, like remake slash sequel that he did, and also like the Don't Breathe movie as well. So, personally, he hasn't like let me down yet, and I was pretty um on board when I saw that he was attached to this, and I liked it a lot. Like the movie for me personally is like a 9 out of 10. Um, I um I kind of knew going into it that I was gonna like it, and I was more so glad to be validated after watching it.
I wasn't sure because I was going in blind. Like I had seen trailers, um, like any promotions. I hadn't seen anything, and all I had was to go off was the previous Alien movies, like Alien Covenant and Prometheus. So I didn't know anything. Only thing I had saw originally was that Freddie was saying that it was going to be a standalone movie that didn't connect to anything else. So I was kind of like, "Ooh, that could be good, that could be bad." Like, I was like, "I'll give it a shot." So that's what I had in mind, like going in. So when it started, and when it like the plot really got going, I was like, "Oh, there's no way this is standalone. Like this definitely connects to the universe." And I'm just like, "Oh, I don't know about you, but I was seeing a lot of like tweets that was talking about like fan service. It was too fan servicey, and it like harkened back to the originals too much. It was given like Star Wars vibes. I was like, what? I
Well,
think
as
this
a
was like the
fan, I was
perfect thing.
serviced.
Yes, I saw nothing wrong with that.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't like that. I was because I was talking to Mark about this because I was seeing a lot of people on Twitter like that. People were literally actually saying this is like a bad movie. Like you can. I feel like we're definitely so quick to call something bad these days, definitely. And like even like I can be on that too, but something has to be like real. Like I have to feel like I was shortchanged in seeing the damn movie for me to just say like, oh that shit was like bad. Like yeah, you could probably even call it like mediocre if it isn't like your thing, but to say this movie is a bad movie, like I feel like that's just I feel like that opinion isn't correct personally. Yes, I know everybody has their own opinion, but like I don't see how that you could watch this movie and still walk out of it and say
There were
that was bad.
there were parts that some people who said it was bad. There was like particular scenes that they pointed out, and that those scenes are also some of my least favorite scenes that I will talk about later. But just because I hated those scenes doesn't mean the movie was bad because it wasn't. We've seen some bad legacy sequels or whatever that are bad, but this movie wasn't one of them. I don't get the hate that it's getting. Like, did y'all even watch the movie?
That's exactly how I feel about it as well. And one thing that I saw come up a lot was like decisions of like some of the characters and stuff. But honestly, I was way more lenient to what we got in this movie in regards to the characters because unlike the rest of the movies, they aren't like fucking scientists or like space marines or anything like that. These are just people
They were
in
just
uniform.
like some poor kids who were just like, which is the one thing that I love about this movie because it's the first movie that actually showing us like an actual colony. Like we were told about them, and we kind of saw them with the prison, but that was a prison that didn't really count. So this was the first time we actually got to saw these characters on a planet, and it wasn't Earth, and it was like, oh, okay, this is just like normal life for them. Like that was cool to me. Like show me stuff like that. Like expand the universe in a good way.
Yeah, I really thought the same with that also. And that's that like when I was watching it, like after I finished watching it, I was like, damn, shit, if I was in a position, I probably would have tried to do the same thing too. Especially after Rain completed her time and they were like, oh no, you gotta we go double that right now. And it's gonna be
That was
24
I
half an
felt
hour.
so bad for her. I felt so bad. Like another 3 years, it's gonna be up again. Like that's the kind of stuff I wanted to see. And like I don't know if it was supposed to be a secret or not, but I knew Andy was a robot like immediately. Like I immediately clocked it. Like he's a
I'm not gonna lie to he wasn't giving me robot. I thought they were trying to give him like autism or something. I'm be honest with you. Until like he got hit by the kids.
no,
He
no,
bro, like
immediately,
I'm sorry. They were
immediately.
he was giving me like he was on the spectrum or something.
I immediately knew he was a robot. Talk about autism. What's wrong with you?
Bro, I'm telling you, it seemed like he was on the spectrum or something, the way that they had his character acting, and then I was like, oh, he's just a droid.
I did. I saw people complaining about the droid. They're like, it's repetitive. I'm like, it's an alien movie. The same way you have Michael Myers hunting people on Halloween is the same way an alien movie is gonna have a stupid droid. Like, and if you don't have a droid, something's wrong with the movie. That's why I don't like that one movie.
So, I mean, in regards to like the droids and stuff, that like you mentioned, that is kind of like a staple of the franchise. Like they're in every movie. I don't see why this would be different, especially it's not like it's in a different timeline, a different universe. It's in the same universe, so why wouldn't regular people also have droids? No one ever said it was just um a thing that the Wayland Yutani Corporation had like for like their facilities or anything. I would assume that other people could also have droids or that they're just a part of everyday life at this point. So the fact that people are saying like, "Oh, it's repetitive because we have such and such," like I don't really see it as that. It just seems like it's just a part of life in the universe. So for me, that's another like non-factor type of complaint at this at this point. And I think out of anything, I only had like one complaint, which I guess we probably would um we might which I guess we'll probably like get to when we discuss the characters a bit more. Something I felt that could have been done. Now I was it was kind of done already. So what I will bring up will be a little repetitive for um one of the movies. So yeah, we'll get to it though.
Yeah, it was just like overall, it was. was a good movie. It looked good. The cinematography was great. The soundtrack was great. Like the acting was good. Like I don't know. For me, it worked. Like it worked. It's not a
Every
bad movie, and like I don't get it. Don't deserve the hate, but like, well, let's get into the scenes. Let's get into the scene. What were the scenes that stood out for you? Good, bad, or indifferent?
um, I will say like the scenes of the actual like ships and stuff where we just see like the outside of space, they looked really nice given the budget of the movie. Like they looked really
Right?
good.
And, like, the scenes where you see, like, the rings and all of that and the
Yeah.
atmosphere, like, they all look so good.
Like I was like, oh shit, this looks like this looks great. But I one scene that definitely was my favorite was the chest burster scene with Navarro when that happened to her. Honestly,
Oh
the
my god,
sound
that
design
was like I
the
was
sound
shaking. Like,
design alone.
it's like you knew what was coming, but the way the music was tricking you, it got me good. I jumped. I gotta confess, I
Yes.
jumped.
The sound design on that scene was so good. Like hearing the bones like cracking and shit. Especially I saw it in Dolby, so the sound was like the sound was crazy watching that. Plus that little like X-ray gun thing, that was pretty cool too to see that for like how it was showing
When
it.
they
That was
first
cool.
when they first showed it, I was like, "Tell me they're not gonna use this when she busts later." That's exactly what I wasn't ready. Like I saw it coming and I still wasn't ready.
It was oh that was so good. And then like the the girl Kay when she like screamed, she had that perfect like horror movie girl scream.
Perfect
When
screen queen.
yes, like I was like, okay, okay, she did that. But damn, that was crazy though. And so yeah, that was one of the scenes. Another one, which I think that besides the chest burster sequence, I think but this might have been my favorite was when Rain and Andy were in the like that hallway and all the xenomorphs were coming at them and she had to shoot them down with the gun and then float through with the damn acid blood in the air.
Oh my god, I was
Insane.
so scared. I was like, please don't hit her, please. But
That was crazy.
for me, one of my favorite scenes, like the scene of the space station hitting the rings, like
Yes.
those shots were so beautiful and it looked so good. I was like, damn. I was like, the budget y'all had, y'all put in the right places because this is a good shot. Like that
Yeah.
was
That was really good. And I would say I like that part, that aspect of it overall because it gave the feeling of all right, we got to get in and get the fuck out. Because if they didn't, I feel like if they didn't have that lingering thing, the story could have like went in a different way, but probably not for the better. But because they had that whole thing lingered around them, that all right, we have X amount of time to get out of here before this happens, and then you add in the xenomorph, so you got like another thing as well that they gotta get through at the same time. Yeah, those scenes were awesome, like when they show you the rings, and the ship getting destroyed by that asteroid belt. Because I don't know why, like obviously, like I knew that would be like detrimental, but I'm like, oh, it can't be like the worst thing, right?
it was so bad. It was so destructive.
I'm like, I'm
It
like,
was
oh,
like no, there was no way they were gonna survive.
I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. Okay, so yeah, that was great. The There were so many good sequences in here when they first like had to all leave, like when the guys were all in that room with the face huggers when they first started like unfreezing from the from that cold room.
That was insane.
And they had to run away from them and they were all just chasing after them like that was crazy. Like I would just shit myself.
Like for me, like the main scenes don't work. All the scenes with Ash, they look so bad. And I wasn't
Oh
sure
yeah.
if it was like I wasn't sure if it was because like I know that actor is dead. He been dead. There's no way that he was on set for this. and it was just like my eyes knew it wasn't supposed to be real, or if it just actually looked bad. And I was confused for a while, and I was like, "Is it me,
No,
or is it
yeah,
just was it?"
that looked bad, and that was honestly like my main gripe with the movie because of how much it showed it. I was like, okay, this looks bad like every time. The only time it didn't look bad, obviously, was on the screens, and that's because they had like the um like it had like the
The
lines and stuff
pixels
going
or
through
whatever,
it,
yeah.
so it looked like distorted, but when we just saw him like close up, the mouth and like the teeth and everything, it did not look right.
And like if they were just because at first they were doing so well, they kept him in shadows, they showed him from behind, they really didn't show his face, but you heard the voice. That was perfect. But the moment they actually showed him like with a big light on his face, I was like, ah no.
Yeah,
You should just kept
that's
him in the
that's
back.
what took me out. That's what I didn't like. And I guess like while we're on that topic, how do you feel in general about people call it like digital necromancy of like bringing back a like actor
Like
who was passed?
like
Because
like if the family okays it, I
that's
guess.
That's
But
that's me
also
personally, because I feel as though like if the family doesn't want it to happen or like their estate or anything like that, then
don't
okay,
do it. But if they say okay, like then do it. You can do it. If they give you the okay, do it. But if you're gonna do it, then do it good. Like
yeah,
that's
because I've
like
seen better deep fakes. I've seen better deep
yes.
fakes on Twitter.
Look, I've seen like Star Wars didn't do a good job, and like it was so bad. But all the times that Star Wars did it, it didn't work in none of those movies. Like damn time. So it's like stop. If you can't do it right, don't do it. Because this wasn't right.
Yeah, that was kind of like my biggest like gripe because yeah, just due to how much we saw that and everything, I just didn't, I didn't like it when it came up each time, and it's not like the idea of it I didn't like, I just didn't like the execution of how they did it in the movie.
They
To be
could have
honest,
they could have just like destroyed half of his face. And like it could have it was so many different things they could have done. You could have had the character, but you could have did it in a different way. Like it upsets me.
yeah, I definitely agree. Um, Besides that, there really, honestly, there really weren't much things that I didn't like out of here, and I feel like I'm probably glazing this movie right now, and it's definitely recency bias.
All
I probably,
all of the scenes with that xenomorph hybrid baby that looked like an engineer,
yeah, you didn't
hated
like
it.
it.
Hated it.
You didn't like it at all. Like, is it because of the designer? You just didn't like the idea of it.
The design. Because
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie to you. The moment she said she was pregnant, I was like, tell me why that xenomorph gonna get that baby.
okay,
And that
so
xenomorph
I
gonna get
didn't,
that. I saw it coming. I was
I
like,
didn't think that
no,
at first. I thought they was gonna make her their new queen.
no. I immediately thought she gonna get injected and that oil gonna get that baby and it's over with. I didn't think they was gonna go in their defense. It was way better than whatever that thing was in Alien 3 with the clone, with the newborn. It was better than that.
Resurrection.
It was better than that. But why did it look like an engineer? I'm trying to,
Well,
I'm
he
trying
kind
to,
of told us. Ash did. Or Rook. His name was Rook in this, but
what do you say?
whatever. Well, because when he was like talking to them about
Oh, because he mentioned the Prometheus
yes,
program. And I will say I like that. I like that he all together. He was mentioning Prometheus. He was talking about it was on the original ship. Like I like what they brought out that together. You saw the engineer. I like how he didn't ignore anything. You just ignore
yeah,
Alien versus Predator, but keep everything else in.
And I think that's again what some people seem to didn't like that he mentioned the other stuff. It's like, oh, it's a little grating, but yeah,
Yeah, they was like, why would you mention that? I'm like, because he acknowledging that it's all a universe. Like they were prequels, people. Come on.
yeah, I agree, and yeah, and if I had to say, the only only other things that scenes that I didn't like was any scene where Bjorn was being mean to Andy. I understand what happened to his mom, but Andy is precious. Leave him alone. Fucking Tyler, when he got dragged up by the damn xenomorph and all of them were coming after him.
Wow. Wow. I thought he was gonna make it. I wanted to be him and her at the end. I thought oh, because they was cute together.
I was like, oh damn, he in for it. I thought I was like, well shit. When I saw all them coming at him like that, I was like, oh damn. Oh damn.
I will
Insane.
say, I also like that people's why they he showing the bodies? Because he's showing the bodies because they own the same ship. It'd be dumb if they wasn't tripping over these people's bodies if nobody ever went up there. Like, of course they got right to the other bodies. Like, but
Wait, people were mad because there were bodies in the ship.
yeah, they were like, why too much fan service? I'm like, what? They're on the same ship. Why wouldn't you see the bodies? Like, I would because I didn't know anything. I didn't see any spoilers. I wasn't expecting Ash the robot to start talking. Like, I thought we was gonna see the body and that's it. I thought it might look flinch a little bit, but when they start having full on scenes, I was like, so we doing this?
Yeah. All
One
right.
of my one of my favorite kind of I don't know how I feel about it. Kills is Scat because like what was he doing to her? He absorbed her. He drank her. What he do to her?
Oh, you talk about
Her
the
baby.
one at the end.
Yeah,
High key, when she touched her chest and like saw the liquid coming out, I thought they were gonna have that thing feeding off her nipple because she touched her chest, and then the little like the whatever liquid or whatever came out of it that was not milk. It was whatever coming from fucking aliens, and I was like, don't tell because especially when it was all in her face and shit. I'm like, please don't tell me they ain't about to have this thing nurse on this woman.
He was going to do that too, and I when he came back, he could drink it. I was like, wait, did he drink it? Why couldn't we see? I was like, wait,
I was about to be like,
why
oh
didn't we
hell
see
no.
him? I'm like, why didn't we see him absorb his mama? Like, what's happening right now?
She was going through it the whole movie.
See, I thought they was gonna have Scott be the final girl because I was so mad. I'm like, they better not have Scott be the final girl. Y'all better not kill off this girl. It better not be Scott. But then she just popped back up. I was like, okay, okay,
Wait, what'd you call her name?
ain't that K? I
Yeah.
said Sky. I said Sky. I meant
I'm like,
Ray.
who the
Oh
fuck is
my.
that?
I meant Ray. I believe this head too. I ain't gonna tell
Oh shit.
you. But like I see, but they gave me what I was missing from the Alien 3, 4, and all of them is they gave us time with the crew. Like we got to know them. Like we got to see them interact. We got to see them on their home planet. We got to see like the struggle they're going through. We got the
Mhm.
banter. We got the like. I'm like, okay, now I know these people, so now I'm gonna feel some kind of way when they start getting picked off. Like that's what they've
Yeah,
been
and
missing in the last movie.
and it hit really quickly too. Like it ramped up really quickly. I mean, I'm not mad at that because I was just like, oh damn, we already here.
Like 20 minutes in, I was like, cool, okay, we know them. They going up. The aliens free. Let's do it. let's move on to the characters. Let's start with Bjorn and Navarro. What are your thoughts on them, Twan?
Bjorn was getting on my nerves because why was he being mean to Andy?
The
Yeah,
entire time.
I understand what happened with his mother and the backstory they gave us on that, and why he would be opposed to droids. But Andy is so precious. Andy is so precious. He ain't trying to hurt nobody. He just want to tell his little jokes and do what he do. Now, Devar, on the other hand, we really like we got to some of her, but out of all of them, she kind of gave the least, I will say, besides getting like chest bursted.
And that's kind of how I knew she was gonna be the chest burster because we didn't get any time with her, and I was like, yeah, she gotta be the first one to go.
Yeah. So I mean, not the yeah. I don't feel like much really came out of her to give anything else, but at least for like the time, like while we did have her, I thought the actress was fine. This was her first role apparently as well.
Oh damn! Really?
Yeah, this is like her first like movie. Was watching some of the cast like interviews, and she sent in like a self like recorded tape, and she said literally within like a week after they decided to pick her, she was already like on her way to fly out the country to go film the movie.
Damn, that's crazy. She was good. Like I wish we
Right.
got a little bit more of her, but like she was good at her scene, and that death scene was crazy. Like
It
that was
was.
some good like physical acting because that was insane.
Exactly. For a first timer, like that was really good.
Yeah, but for me, like I knew Bjorn was gonna be the first kill, and I knew his was gonna be like probably the worst, and it was because that acid death was kind of slow. Like I was like,
Oh
no,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, you didn't kill it. You didn't kill it. That's too easy. You ain't kill it. I know was gonna do that though. That was wild. Well, what are your thoughts on K?
Man, Kay was kind of getting the Wile E. Coyote treatment throughout the movie. She was kind of getting the Dewey treatment because first she got thrown off the ship when it crashed back into the station, and then she got like stabbed in the back by the xenomorph. And then she got put in one of those like xenomorph nests or webs or whatever. Had to get freed by that. And she had to give like fucking she stabbed herself with the like the fluid or the
I
solution
knew
so that
she
she
was
could
gonna
try
do.
to
I
live.
knew. I saw that coming. The moment they gave her the cart, I was like, she gonna stab herself. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's gonna get the baby. It's gonna get the baby. Damn, she did it.
And then only for her to have that to give birth in that nasty ass way in the fucking pod. Like, oh my god, my girl was going through it the whole time. Like Dora needed her backpack.
Just for her to get absorbed by her son. Wait, what's going on right now? Please stop it. Why y'all doing this to this baby? I'm like, at this
It was
point, she
so
needs to be the final girl because y'all done did too much to her.
It was so crazy. It was funny because the whole time I was watching her, I was like, "Where the fuck have I seen this actress before?" And then I was like, when I looked at her, I was like, "Oh, she was in the live action Dora movie. She was Dora."
No, it's her.
Yes.
No. Oh my god, that's insane. I'm really
When
glad
I
she
saw
can
that, I was
act.
like, "That's so funny."
I'm
That
glad
was
she
so.
learned how to act. Whew.
Oh yeah, but Kay, yeah, I mean, like the actress herself, she did really good. She was definitely giving like horror girl, like final girl energy. Like
She was.
I could definitely see her as something else. I saw somebody online said they should get her and Melissa Barrera and something together. I agree.
Oh yes. Yes, that'd be a good a duo.
I
I want to
definitely
see that.
agree.
Yes. But I like you were saying, like like she kept on dodging it. Like she survived the crash, and then she gets out, she falls down the shaft, and she survives the xenomorph, gets impregnated. Like she kept on surviving. Like at this point, just make her the final girl, please. Just put us out of our misery. Like please, just come on. Look, but I enjoyed her though. Like I thought she might be one of those like, oh, this is the main love interest sister, so she gotta die, and it's gonna make him and her survive at the end. She usually the cause of survival. Oh, my sister died, so I gotta make sure me and my baby okay. But yeah, I was like, damn, they killed him. She gonna make it to the end. I thought they was gonna give us a little bait and switch, but
Hmm.
then a baby ate her. I still don't know what that's about. I really don't know what that's about, but okay. The baby ate her. Okay. Well, let's move on to Tyler. What are your thoughts on Tyler? Now, for me, I thought Tyler was gonna make it. I thought he was gonna be at the end. I thought Andy was gonna sacrifice himself. It was gonna be her and Tyler because he was doing good, and my heart was breaking when he was on the phone with his sister, and he was
Oh my
hearing her be taken. Like I would have been dead because they was gonna have to they was gonna have to come get me because ain't no way. What about you? What are your thoughts on Tyler?
All right. Um. So what I will say about Tyler is, yes, that scene when they um were in the room with all the like face huggers, which great sequence by the way. The whole thing Andy did with like making the room the same temperature as their body temperature, so they would be quote unquote invisible. That was perfect. I actually really liked that. I thought that was cool. Um, but yeah, when his sister started talking and he like started sweating and stuff, and they had to run away from all them, insane sequence. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been able to like hold it either. Like in that scene, the way his like heart rate ramped up and he started sweating and everything. So that was kind of crazy. But overall, I like Tyler's character. Like while he was kind of the leader of the group, he wasn't like a dick. Like sometimes they love to make the leader of the group
Yeah, they always like an asshole or something for no reason.
yeah, and like he didn't give any of that energy. He was just like the rest of them, just wanting to get out of their situation and into something better.
And you can tell that they still like they still have feelings for each other too. And I was like, oh please,
Yeah,
I want them to make it. I want them to make it. Because he was a dope character the whole movie. Like like again, like that scenes when he was hearing his sister be taken, it was just they seeing her at the door, he was begging, like him on his knees begging Andy to like open the door, like, oh,
and
that
he
got
was
me.
he was so nice to Andy too.
That's what broke me even more. Like, ah, it was
Yeah,
so bad.
yeah, it was crazy. And then like his fucking death scene, like man, seeing all that before you go, it's crazy. All them coming at you like that, and that's the last thing you about to see. Oh man. But I really liked his character though. I was like I mentioned, I was glad that while he was like kind of like group leader, he wasn't like an asshole or anything. Like he just was, the one pushing like charging ahead trying to get this all going.
Yeah, he had to go out like that. That was wild. He was just trying to they were all just trying to get somewhere better, and then the xenomorph ate him up. But what are your thoughts on Andy? Now, it ain't Andy's fault. You know, they made him do it. They made him do it. Now, I will say I did see Andy turn evil. I saw that immediately. See, I thought it was gonna be, Tyler was gonna be roughing him up, hit him. He's gonna bang his head, and he was gonna reset and start killing niggas. But that ain't what happened. But I like the way they did it. Like it was their fault. They put the chip in his head, and what happened after that, that was on them. And
Hmm.
he ain't killing nobody per se. I thought he was gonna set Tyler up, but he was just trying to save Tyler, and he warned the people. And ooh, I did like that. I like how this time it was the android warning the people instead of the android putting them in danger. I did like that little twist. But he warned them. He said we need to leave Shorty here. She got that thing, and Tyler didn't want to listen, and they all got ate up and split up or whatever. So whatever.
No, yeah, I liked Andy's character a lot, and I really like the actor David Johnson. He did a really good job here. Like I was like so invested in him and Rain's like relationship, and um I just think like like compared to some of the other like droid representation that we got in these movies, like he I don't know, the most he felt like he had more emotion than some of the other ones, which maybe that had to do with like how he was like programmed to from Rain's dad to like with his objective of just make make Rain happy, like that type of thing. So like maybe that what like kind of comes with it, but I just kind of liked how his um his character was. And I guess now that we're like on the discussion of Andy, this kind of brings me to what I mentioned earlier about something that I feel the movie could have did differently, but if done, it would have been very similar to another Alien movie, and that would have been if um instead of having Rook, the droid should have been another model of Andy's droid. And the only reason that I say it should have been that is because of the whole like the Remus and Romulus thing with the ship split into two parts. I feel as though that could have been cool for it to be like for one droid to be Andy and another one to be like, let's just keep the name Rook. We'll just say the other droid looked like Andy, but his name was Rook. And it could have been like the whole like Remus and Romulus thing that they were kind of going for with the ship being split into two parts, and then Andy having
And
two
it
parts.
also and it also harkened back to Alien Covenant when we had two of the same
Exactly.
droid. Like
But
you've
I feel
already
like
done
they
it.
would have.
It's already in
Yeah,
universe.
I know, but I feel like that's what people that would pay people more things to be like, oh, they just copied this from the other Alien movie, blah 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 blah. Seeing as that they already got an issue with a lot of the other stuff that was being like called back to. Um, but like besides that, though, I feel like it could have worked a little better here, in my opinion. Um,
Ah,
the only, yeah, and I would say like, well, yeah, well, I do feel like that would have worked like really well for what the movie did here. I think what we got still worked really well. um, and actually, this is a scene that I forgot to mention earlier um, when they first put that little um, chip inside of Andy, and his eyes like go white and then turn into the Wayland Utani Corporation over his eyes. I don't know why that whole scene that like image looked really dope with the red
it
lighting and stuff.
really did. It really did. And I knew from that moment Andy was about to fuck some shit up.
Yeah,
I
the
knew
scene
it was
looked
coming.
that was like a really good imagery there. But I just like the character overall, and it just felt like such a different relationship that we saw with some of the droids in the movie. I don't think we've seen the relationship of it being that close.
It wasn't, and if it was close, it was uncomfortably close. When just like when in part four, when that android was gonna fuck the clone, like what's going on around here? Like this was a way different relation. Like you saw that they cared about each other, and I was like, okay, this feels good. Like I was like, okay, I see where they're going with this. I like it. It was a good change.
Yeah,
People hate
and
it.
I agree. And while I feel like if they did go something like that, yes, it would have been close to Covenant. But in reference to what was happening with the story, I feel as though that could have worked really well having two versions of the Andy droid. But overall, Andy was amazing. I loved him.
Yeah, but let's talk about his sister. Let's talk about Raid. I liked Raid, and
Same.
I love that we got to see her before the ship, before everyone else. We got to see her how I I enjoyed her. And when she was going through it, I felt it. I was like, oh my god, I like her. Please don't kill her.
Yeah, I really liked Rain's character, and yeah, like you mentioned, like the introduction of her as well, because it's honestly relatable. Like, now we are not all being told that we got to work for X amount. Well, you do got to work about X amount of years before you can get to your to where you want to be, but not in the way that it happened there, where you can just like you can't just quit and go about what you want to do. Like she was like stalled from the beginning, and like literally as soon as that happened to her, and like she was given that proposition from Tyler of what they could do to reach the planet they wanted to go to, I was like, if I was in universe and that happened to me, I probably would do the same. Like I probably would try to do the same if like they had an idea on how we can get to this different planet and everything, and not have to work in the mines for another like 3 years.
And homegirl was smart too, cause she immediately clocked. I don't trust this goo. Don't put that in that girl. And I was like, she's smart. Don't trust it. Cause I remember
Hmm.
black glue, and the black glue went good. She was smart. She was on it.
She was, and yeah, and that's another thing. Like I like that they had her do like a lot of smart stuff, and I like the relationship that she had with Andy. Like I like that throughout the whole movie. She was like this. See, they were like, "Oh, this is your droid." She's like, "No, this is my brother. I like this is my brother. This is Andy. Like, leave him alone." Like I like that. Like they gave them like a sibling dynamic, and that was like really interesting. Um, when it came to like more towards the end of the movie when they were when it seemed like they were about to wrap up and everything was good and then shit hit the fan again, like oh girl was smart, like she was really smart with what she did in order to get rid of the whatever the fuck that was.
She when she started making it cold, I was like, oh my girl about to survive. She about to survive. She making it cold. She getting the temperature going. She put the suit on. I was like, oh my god, she
I was
finna
like,
fuck
oh,
this
she
thing
got
up.
braids, she got braids, she's smart. Yeah, she
I like
she
it.
she was really good. um
Because she was a good final girl. Like she definitely deserved it.
yeah, and outside of like this character, I think this actress is really good too. Like she's kind of up and coming right
This is
now,
my
but
first
everything.
time seeing her.
So she's also in that movie Civil War that came out a little earlier this year. She was like the main character in there, besides like Kirsten Dunst, and
Never seen it.
she was also well, she played Elvis Presley's wife, Priscilla, in that movie, Priscilla.
Never seen it.
Yeah, both were really good though. She's kind of up and coming right now, so she's glad to see more of her. I see her being like bigger in the years to come. So I really like this performance out of her. It's always good to get like a horror performance out of new actors.
Yeah, I enjoyed her. She was really good, and she was kicking butt the whole movie. She was giving it good. Like she was definitely up there with Ripley. I enjoyed her a lot. You know, the best final girl we had since Ripley in this franchise. So I enjoyed her. But
Yeah,
let's talk
only
about. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say only well, not even like I felt bad when she had to slap Andy because he didn't open the door for old girl because she didn't want to do that, but it was just like a reaction just after what she witnessed. Yeah, but overall, Rain gets my tens. I would like to see more of her. If they decide to do something more with her and Andy, but even if they just leave it where it is, I hope they made it to where they got to be.
Well, let's move over to Ash now. I don't know if it was spoiled or whatever, but I wasn't expecting to see Ash in this movie. That was a complete shock. Now, when they walk, we don't see his face. He in the shadows. It's cool. It's cool. But the minute they put a light on his face and then you can see his whole face, I was done.
So I thought that at least the implementation of having another droid there, um, one it worked in service of the story at first when when Rain was like, okay, we need to get them out of this room. He doesn't have the clearance. Let's use this one to get him the clearance because he was on the ship. Smart decision using the droid that way. Once the droid was active and started conniving and doing all the extra stuff with Andy at that point. Um, Not to say that it kind of took away from what was going on, but I don't know. I felt like
It did.
we
It
didn't
took
need
away.
we didn't
It
I didn't
did.
feel like we needed the droid to do that. I feel like that could have, like, it could have just been inside of the chip for that directive. Like, what since that chip would have been like a direct, like Wayland Utani type of chip, like out, like maybe it could have just override it and not needed all the extra stuff. But you know, having like Ash there is, I mean, I didn't really think much of it being Ash, honestly. Like it could have been any droid, and even if it was like how I mentioned earlier, like
It
if it
could
was
have
like a
just
copy,
melted half of his face. I would have been okay with that. He could have been a Terminator T1 looking motherfucker. I would have been okay with that. You could have told me it was a skeleton and told me it was Ash, and I would have been like, okay, I accept it.
but yeah, for me though, even it being like Ash, or even if it was like I mentioned, it being like a copy of like Andy, for instance, and how he looks, um, I feel like my feelings on that would have probably stayed the same for the most part. Um, but I mean, but I guess they kind of gave like it kind of gave what we're used to with the droids from the Alien movies. I get if you kind of get me, like the way that they, like all of them are just in service of Wayland Utani, and that's their prime agenda. Except David, he was on some other shit. But the rest of them, um, like in the actual like
David,
Alien
David was
movie,
doing too much.
yeah, the actual like alien movies, like the first four, and then this one, they were all working in service of the company. But David was like, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing."
I'm playing God. I don't got to do none of that.
Yeah, but I would say that's probably about it for me in regards to like the whole like Ash debacle.
I will say that his death scene was really cool. Like him being demolished by that. Again, I did not
Oh,
think the rings was gonna do that to them. I thought it was gonna be a little. I don't know what I thought, but that was brutal, and I'm glad he got that. He was fucking them for
mhm.
2 movies. So how did it feel after 2 movies straight? We finally got an actual xenomorph movie. It's been a while.
Yes.
Cause like we didn't have no xenomorph in Prometheus. They was some alien zombie thingy majiggies. And then it's been all these different kind of morphs, well, whatever. But this is the first time it's been a Xeno. Like, how was that? That was lit.
It felt good getting back to him, honestly. And just like I'm like, ah, this is what we were supposed to be. Well, now, I won't discredit the prequels because I mean that's what really Scott wanted to do with his baby. Let it, he can do what he want to do with. I mean, I'm
He
sorry, but
destroyed it. He destroyed the legacy.
I won't say he destroyed it. Like while Covenant wasn't my favorite or wasn't my personal cup of tea, um, he like if that's like what he wanted to do, that's what he wanted to do. Now it wasn't like I didn't think it would definitely wasn't like my favorite, but if I recall, I definitely didn't cash it either. I most likely probably wouldn't watch it, but um, I wouldn't say he destroyed it. I just didn't think they were good for what we were given, and it's funny kind of saying that because seeing all the discourse surrounding this movie, and I'm like seeing all everybody come out the woodworks talking about how much they love Covenant, and even more so Prometheus. When I remember when when
Y'all
Prometheus came
hated
out,
that movie.
I
Y'all was
swear
dragging that movie on every social media platform y'all could.
where
Y'all hated that movie.
people were dragging Prometheus, and like I was a now I wasn't like a big Alien fan or stan, but
They hated
I liked
that
the
movie. What are
like
they talking about?
and like right now like people are like they're hyping up both Prometheus and Covenant right now, and I'm like I definitely remember now even more so with Covenant. I remember when that came out for sure that people were like going crazy about that movie about how much they didn't like it and like how much it strayed
I
away.
remember Prometheus, bro. They was on the message boards. They was fired up, bro. They hated it. You saw the hate on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. They did not like that movie.
And I'm like, how do we went from that to now people hating this and saying that Covenant was now, now Covenant is better is better. I'm like I like this why like after a while, like after I get my little discourse saying I just mute shit on Twitter and everything after a little while. Cause like, all right, I'm done with it.
Like honestly, it's better than 3 and 4. Like y'all need to stop. Like this is a like this has movies in it, and now this is the number third. This is the third one. Aliens, Alien, and this one. Like again, I was expecting it to be a standalone movie. So to go in and see and immediately starts to connect, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. And
Wait, so can I ask you what is your definition of standalone?
well, I thought because all the other movies have been connected in a way, the that we was the thing we saw die in Prometheus. Like it was all kind of connected. But I was seeing stuff where it was gonna be like would have no connection to Ripley, none of that stuff that we've seen before. It was just gonna be some other people fighting some xenomorphs.
I
So that's
mean,
what I was.
that is what we
So that's
got for.
I mean, but I wasn't expecting him to be on the Astromo. I wasn't expecting to see Ash. I wasn't expecting to be like that connected.
They weren't on the Nostromo.
They were.
No, they weren't.
Then where the hell Ash come from?
Oh my god, that you have been saying Ash the whole movie, and I haven't been correcting you because I just think you were saying that just to say it. That bot's
I
name
thought
was
that
Rook.
was Ash. That was, but that was still, that was a different bot. So they brought that
Yes,
man back from the dead to play a different robot.
yes.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Y'all brought that man back to the dead to not even play his iconic character. Y'all making him a different bot. I'm thinking this fool was Ash the whole time. I thought he was calling himself because he went to the dark side. I thought that was wait.
You, I am so fucking dead. Don't fucking wait. At the beginning, okay, at the beginning of the movie, we see like Wayland Yutani, like they were investigating a wreckage. That was the Nostromo at the beginning,
And I
and
thought
they
they rescued the Ash bot because he had information and he was just feeding them information during during the
get
operation.
the fuck out of here.
Wow.
The bot that was on that ship was called Rook.
Get the fuck out of here. Stop it.
Girl, you was not paying attention.
I'm I'm seeing the face. I'm like, that's Ash.
It's the
You
same
tell me
thing
they
with like David and David.
no, stop it. You don't bring that dead man out the grave and computerize to play a different character. You don't do that. You don't do that. He
How
gotta be playing Ash.
it's literally a bot.
They need to sue. He can't be playing Ash or nothing.
You
Who
tell
was
me they
Rook?
need to sue. They already asked the family.
Who was who was Rook? What's going on around here? No, stop it. Kill it. That could be somebody completely different. That could be somebody completely different. That wasn't Ash.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, either way, I didn't like it. If it was Ash, if it was Rook, I didn't like it because it just uncanny valley and it didn't work. And he was being nefarious for what? Like the best of the company, sir. You're mangled. What are you talking about right now?
I'm still on you thinking
Shut up.
I'm still on
We
you thinking that
moved
was the
on. We
Nostromo.
moved on. Stop it. I'm thinking that was on the Strabo. I'm thinking that's Ash. Wow.
Girl, the name
Stop it. Stop it. Then why
because
they seeing bodies posing?
because that was a decommissioned Wayland Yutani it was a decommissioned Wayland Yutani station, and it was divided into two parts, which was Romulus and Remus, a reference to like the Roman gods, and
I
that's why I
got
said
that part, but that wasn't the Nostromo. I thought the Nostromo just had two parts that we ain't seen before.
the Nostromo was never that fucking big.
I'm thinking, wow.
I'm fucking dead.
I'm so upset right now. Like I've been lied to. I'm thinking he Ash.
Nah, you was
I'm
not
thinking
paying
that's
attention.
Nostromo.
You was not paying
Stop
attention.
it.
They did not.
Stop
They never
it.
mentioned the name Ash in that
I
movie.
swear to God, they didn't have to mention it because I see the dead man face. I'm thinking Ash. Why else would you have him in the movie? Why else would you bring him back from the
The
dead
movie is
computerized?
between the first two Alien movies,
Stop
so
it.
he would still be a model
Stop
of bot.
it.
Nah, you was not paying
Anyway,
attention.
anyway, let's move on to the xenomorph human hybrid that looked like an engineer. I'm still trying to figure. Well, he was engineered because he was made of the goggly goop that we saw in Prometheus. Like it was a lot going on, and it was a cool design, but it was creepy. I was weirded out.
Yeah, that motherfucker was ugly as hell. But when I saw the face though, I was like, oh shit, it looked like an engineer.
The first scene, I didn't see it, but then when we saw it again close up, I was like, "Oh, I see what they did. I see what they did." Because it took me back to where he mentioned he was studying the engineering program. 'Cause that's immediately when I thought, "This group ain't safe."
Yeah, that motherfucker was ugly as hell. And then when when she first let like cargo container go on the ship, and then it jumped back up at her. I was like, "Oh, get it out, get out my face!"
Yeah, I was
Why?
like, girl, run,
It's a little
run. I
gross.
didn't know he was gonna drink her though. I didn't know what he was gonna do, but I was expecting to see that he absorbed her by drinking her. Like what was going on? But then the minute she took the gobbledygook, I was like, oh, the alien gonna get the baby. The alien gonna get the baby. I didn't know it was gonna do that though. I wasn't expecting that. Well, looks like we're at the end, but not quite the end because Twan, can you please give us the behind the scene info and facts?
So, Alien Romulus had a budget of $80 million, and box office at the time of recording is at 108.2 million. One interesting fact that we do have for you all is that this movie was originally set to be released on Hulu until it got pushed to having a theatrical release. And whoever made that decision, I'm very glad.
They was gonna dump this on Hulu. They making bank right now.
Yep, because it was one of those movies that was in production before Disney
Oh, before the
bought it.
sale.
Yeah, and they were gonna put it on Hulu at first.
Wow,
All right.
I'm glad they did.
So, some critics' reactions. The film currently sits at an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Entertainment Weekly praised the film's direction, design, and writing, calling it impressive. However, especially in how it looks like a new movie, but is simpatico with the tech of the 1979 original, and deemed Spaney the finest weapon in the arsenal. Variety called Alien Romulus one of the best Alien sequels. It delivers the slimy creep out goods in a way that none of the last three Alien films have. He further wrote that Spaney, with her clear eyes and serene resolve, makes her presence felt as Rain, the closest equivalent here to a fearless Ripley. Lastly, the San Francisco Chronicle criticized the film, writing, "The first 45 minutes are boring beyond description. The script has the aliens waking up and falling asleep at the convenience of the screenwriters, not in a way that makes consistent sense. The foundational mistakes that came when someone said, 'Hey, let's make another alien movie.' Newsflash, the alien concept is dead. Leave it alone and leave poor Ian Holm out of it."
Well, do we agree with him? Twan, do we cash or pass Alien Romulus?
I will be I will be cashing Alien Romulus. I really enjoyed this movie. Um Honestly, I'm gonna go see it again before it's out of theaters because that's how much I liked it. And I probably will also be buying it on DVD as well if Disney gives it a release because they are kind of stingy with those these days. But overall, the movie was really good. I think Fede Alvarez did another good job at, a horror requel, sequel, however the fuck you want to say it. I think the cast was really good, especially David Johnson and Kaylee Spaney. They were really great here, and I like the gore and all that we got here. So it's a plus for me. And I guess while the thought is on my mind, I really think that Fede Alvarez should think about directing a Dead Space movie for all my gamers out there because he would kill it.
Well, for me, it's also gonna be a cash. Like I didn't know what to
Like I
expect.
said,
Huh? Stop! Shut up.
like I said.
Okay. I can admit when I was wrong. It was a good movie. It's a cash. You know, I didn't know what to expect. I kind of went in blind, so I haven't seen any of the director's work. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know any of the cast. Well, I knew the main actor because I saw that rom com he did for Amazon, but I had no expectations. So like, this was a good surprise. Like to see that it was like harkening back to the originals, and it was kind of bringing everything together. The story was good, the characters was good. We got to see more of the universe, actually see people on the planet and stuff. Like all that was good. Like this was a smart sequel. Like I thought the fan service was perfect. Like give me more. Do it in a good way. Keep on doing it. Glad you joined us for this review. Please join us next week as we review The Train to Busan. and I'm considering this our one official zombie horror movie because those wreck movies didn't really count. They weren't really zombies, right? They was like possessed people. Like that's different. So I'm
Oh
excited for
Lord,
this, and huh?
this movie get me in the feels.
Train to Busan.
You haven't seen it?
No, this is my first. This will be my first time watching
Oh,
it.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was your first time. Oh, you yeah. At the end,
Wait. Okay, okay. No, say nothing. No, say nothing. This is my first watch. Oh my god! Like this is why I'm picking it for my like. I thought this would be because originally I was gonna do World War Z, but then I was like, wait, I don't think that's really horror. But I
nah.
wanted to do a zombie movie, so I picked Train to Busan because I heard it was good, but I don't know anything about the plot. So, oh no, I'm about to cry. Wow.
Train to Busan is
Okay.
gas. So like the whole movie itself is really good, but yeah, the feels.
Okay, okay. I can't. I'm excited now. I'm excited. Okay. Wow. Well, to hear my review or hear me break down in tears, tune in next week. But until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please check out the Haddonfield Horror podcast from big series like Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or our one-off reviews like The Blackening and Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok where the hosts post updates and mini-reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms and YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horror podcast is produced by Mark Smart,
Maria Perez,
Swan Griffin, and Elian Cordova. Themed by Lethal Injection and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?